Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 25 of the Anime Banter podcast with your host, Turtle, Sean, and Mike. Thank you for joining us today. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you guys?
A bit under the weather today, myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough recording session, so please, listeners, forgive me.
Send Sean your energy so he can fight through the pain and record this episode.
That's right. Hang in there.
Just throwing your hands up in the air and trying to gather the energy of all the living things around you.
I have a feeling I'm probably gonna be better by the time they listen to this episode.
Well, just so you know, I'm holding up my hand to give you my energy.
Thanks, but I don't want you to
it?
get sick. Don't weaken your immune system, everyone.
Take your vitamins, drink your milk, do a bunch of steroids, the Hulk Hogan way. I mean, not the steroids. Milk, vitamins. Yeah.
What about the racism?
Brother, that's not Hulk Hogan. That's the other guy that plays Hulk Hogan. Two very distinct guys. Brother.
What about getting your sex tape put on Gawker?
I loved how that was like his defense was Hulk Hogan and his real name are two separate people. It's like, no, but somehow that defense worked.
Like, I'll give you that. Like, Hulk Hogan is a character that he portrays, but it's still him performing those actions.
Yeah,
it's like he's following a script, right? He's like, he's just walking around in a funny voice.
Yeah,
it was just very bizarre. But
he's the reason Gawker got shut down, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
there's a whole documentary on Netflix about big part of that is that trial. I forget what it's called though.
Yeah, the more I think about Hulk Hogan, the more I think about how crazy his life was.
Nobody Speak: The Trials of the Free Press is what it's called. It was all about the trial between Hulk and Gawker.
Yeah, I don't know, it was like from the sex tape to him being caught on tape saying racial slurs to like I said, the steroid usage to I don't know, there's so much stuff. Those old school wrestlers, man, they have so much baggage.
It's probably a good thing that they didn't have social media back then.
Oh gosh, no.
I guess that's it. Like, you always hear oh, you would never believe what old wrestlers got away with back in the day when they didn't have social media. It's like, it's not just wrestlers. I mean,
everyone
just think
got
of
away with
everyone.
Everything.
Like, even non-famous people. Like, you could just say shit to your friends and it's like, oh yeah, you probably should, there was no way to be videoed, on the drop of a dime. Like, if you did something stupid on the streets, there was no way to document it.
Yeah, I think about college parties, right? If someone goes a college party and does something stupid,
Yep.
Everyone's carrying a camera. So if you get too drunk, someone's recording you doing something stupid.
Yep.
And it's messed up, but that's how it is.
More accountability. But we have two bangers, absolute bangers of episodes to talk about today. And they were full of lore. So we're going to jump straight into the Vinland Saga. And today we are talking about episodes 19 and 20 of Season 1. Episode 19, United Front. Netflix called this episode a joint battle. And us Banter Blitzers are going to call it a lore dump.
Oh yeah, episode 19, lore dump.
I mean, we've been building...
A beautiful episode.
We've been building 18 episodes to this point. They're like, you want lore? You want the story? Here you go. Here's 25 minutes of it. Just open your ears, watch, and learn so much backstory.
I've been starving. I've been begging for a morsel of lore. Please. And they finally gave it to me.
They didn't just give you a morsel. They gave you a buffet.
I'll say this was a solid plateful. This is, I think this is by far and away my favorite episode so far.
I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, I think so too, actually. My favorite isn't this one, it's the one after it.
Yeah. I mean, we picked two really good episodes to talk about tonight.
Oh, for sure.
Like, just they both played on each other very well. We learned so much about the characters. We see where the show is going. Like, everything is built to this point, and after episode 20, we only have 4 episodes left in this season, and there's a clear, like, okay, like, here's where you're at. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you know it's like shit's about to go down.
I think the thing that bugs me about this show is the fact that we took 18 episodes to reach this point. And don't get me wrong, not that all of those episodes are bad. There's some good ones in there, but I feel like it could have been abbreviated some to get us here, because 19 was just like a holy shit episode for me. Like, soon as it starts, you've got Thorfinn waking up in the snow from him being tossed 50 feet in the air, and then it's off to the races. The whole episode is nonstop.
A more than likely concussed Thorfinn at that.
Absolutely.
He doesn't even remember that he's in a dole currently.
I feel like he doesn't remember who he is or what's going on.
I mean, he doesn't even remember Thorkel. But I will say that when we were at Techo earlier this summer, I was talking to someone there about Vinland Saga, and they're like, "Oh, what episode are you on?" It? And at that point, we were still pretty early, but like I was hooked on those early episodes because of Thor's. And the person's like, "Just wait, the last 6 episodes of the season 1 will absolutely hook you, and you are going to be so enthralled." And I mean, we've only seen 2 of them, but they were absolutely right.
We do have as banterers, we have a tough decision to make at the end of this season. And Vinland Saga 2 is out currently, and we have to determine if we want to watch Vinland Saga 2 immediately or move to another show. And if anyone has input for us on social media, please reach out. Let us know what you want to see, because if there's enough demand one way or the other, we may make our decision based on that.
You can always email us at animebanterpodcast@gmail.com.
Let us know your thoughts if you're like way into this show and you want us to keep going. We'll keep going. If you guys have something else you want us to take a break and check out, in between seasons, we can do that too.
I love how Thorfinn is ready to fight right off the get go. Like after he like shakes after the Tweety birds go away and he stops seeing stars, he like hops right up. He's like, "All right, let's keep fighting." And Thorkel's like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm gonna give you a break." And Thorfinn's like, "No, that's dumb. Like, come on, fight me." And like Thorfinn's ready to hold his dagger up, and his arm is straight, and all of a sudden, rip, his forearm's at a 90-degree angle.
I was not ready for that. And like, soon as he realizes the arm is like totally broken at the elbow there, he just drops to the floor in pain, and I felt pain.
I lost it. I was laughing so hard.
I mean, at this point, we should just title the episode My Two Dads, the two dads of Thorfinn, because Askeladd comes over and he's actually like caring for Thorfinn. He's like, "Let me look at your arm." He's like, "Fuck off, old man. Like, get away from me." He's like, "Let me look at your arm. You're in no condition to like fight right now."
Askeladd's like, "Dude, you're gonna get us both killed. Let me fix you up. I'm trying to help."
And even Thorkel's like, "All right, we're going to take a break from this. And it's story time with Thorkel."
Best part, right here.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. This story brought to you by Thorkel and friends. Anyone else think it was really weird to see Thorkel without a mustache in the flashback?
If not for his towering height, I wouldn't be sure it was him. It's like a totally different person.
Yeah, the height gave it away.
And then, like, later when Askeladd has his story time, he also doesn't have a mustache. It's like, what is it with these Vikings that, like, back in the day, only beard, no mustache. And then they're like, okay, present day, now mustache is allowed to be included. Like, did King Swain say, listen, no mustaches, they suck? And then he's like, you know what? In my old age, I've realized Mustaches help make the facial hair. Mustaches are allowed.
It's a sign of age and respect when you reach a certain a certain age in Viking culture, right? You've gained the required experience as a warrior, as a man. You may then grow a mustache.
For every man you kill, you get one mustache hair.
One single hair.
And based on what we've seen this episode, yeah, Thorkel earned his full mustache.
It's I'm surprised it's not coming out of his eyes. It's gonna be all over. He's taken out so many people.
So, twist right off the get go of story time, we learn that the Jomsviking leader is Thorfinn's grandfather because he's the father of Helga, which, I mean, we knew that Thor's married the daughter, but the real twist was the Jomsviking leader is actually Thorkel's brother, or is brothers of Thorkel, making Thorkel Thorfinn's great uncle.
Woo! I wish I could say that I called that, but I did not. But that's cool.
I
It
mean,
is pretty cool.
we were all hoping for Thorkel to be like the father figure, like mentor, but I don't think we meant in like a literal way, like family bloodline way.
Now they have to like get together and hang out and be besties.
We then learned that the last time Thorkel saw Thor's was when Thor's abandoned the Jomsviking, and he wept for Thor's because not because he was sad that he lost a friend and a brother, but because he never bested him in a fight. But then we learn Thorkel actually saw Thor's 3 months after the funeral for Thor's, and I use funeral very loosely. Thor's and Helga return to his house to gather up their things in the black of night, under disguise, looking like thieves, bandits, beggars. And Thorkel's just drinking on Thor's roof. And Thorkel's ready to throw down. Like, he tries to attack, and Thor's just blocks the attack with his axe, or with his hand. Like, Thorkel swings his axe, and Thor's like, nah, no friend. No way. No such luck. And then it was really funny seeing Helga call Thorkel Uncle Thorkel.
Yeah, that made me chuckle a little bit too. She's trying to like talk to him. They're having the whole scene. She's like, but Uncle, and then he just keeps talking to Thor's, totally ignoring that she's even there.
He's like, Thor's, it's great to see you. We should fight. Come on, come drink with me. And Uncle Thorkel, Uncle Thorkel, we're trying to Uncle Thorkel. And Thorkel's just not taking any hints. Like, clearly these two are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. And Thorkel just doesn't. He's too oblivious to it.
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
Yeah, Thorkel's just like, why would you want to leave? It's paradise here. We get to fight as many people as we want.
And eventually Thor's is able to get through to Thorkel, like, look, I'm no longer interested in fighting. And which shocks Thorkel. He's like, you were handpicked to be the next leader of the Jomsviking. Like, you were the guy. You were the next you were our next champion. Like, why would you leave? Are you afraid of dying? And like a baby Yoga is there, and like he's not even paying attention to the baby. And Thor's tells Thorkel he now knows what it means to be a true warrior. Ah, little we see that essence again.
And can I just say, like, what a badass moment that was? Just like they zoom in on Thor's face, and just like the look in his eye, he's like, I know what it means to be a true warrior now. I was just like, oh, Thor's is so great. Bring him back from the dead, please. I need more Thors.
So Thorkel is pissed. He's like, well, it's in our rules. I can't let you leave. Well, this time you're gonna die for real, real. And Thorkel's like, pick up your sword. And Thor's like, nope. Thorkel's like, well, where is it? He's like, don't need it. And this all just pisses Thorkel off. He's like, and Thorkel swings his axe, And Thor just breaks it with his bare hand. And then he knocks Thorkel out with one punch. One punch!
Wabash!
Absolutely amazing scene. Where's your sword? I don't need it anymore. What? And then he breaks the axe. It's like this is brilliance right here. This is incredible.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I guess if you can do all of that with just your hands, you really don't need a sword anymore. But I don't think that's exactly what he meant.
Especially like against Thorkel, who we've seen so far in very small chunks across what feels like 100 episodes. Like Thorkel is awesome. He's incredible strength. You know, he's done all these crazy feats, and like to go back to see him, you know, trying to battle with Thor's, and he doesn't even hold up to him.
So that concludes story time with Thorkel. And he wants to know what kind of life Thor's lived in Iceland. And Thorfinn says, "Well, fuck you. You're not getting story time with Thorfinn." Which it really upsets Thorkel. He's like, "Oh, come on. I shared my story. Where's your story?"
Like I laughed, but at the same time, I was kind of mad because I wanted to see Thorkel's reaction.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So I hope
Yeah,
I hope story time happens later.
Thorfinn's in his moody teenage era.
Oh, he's real moody now.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. No, you're not. You're not cool either.
He's in so much pain. His
Yep.
his arm is just bent the other way.
So Thorfinn insists, "No, we got to keep fighting." And Askeladd once again steps in. He's like, "Look, you can't win using your usual methods. Like, you're hurt. He outsizes you. Your arm is broken. You're concussed. He outsizes you. You're sort of fucked here." And Askeladd tells Thorfinn, and like Thorfinn's like, "Shut up, old man. Like, I'm fine." And like Askeladd is only able to snap him out of it when he's like, "Remember why you fight and what you want. Like, I know you want to kill me, so either you listen to me and you can actually accomplish that goal in the future, or Thorkel's just going to kill you." And Thorfinn relents, and he actually lets Askeladd serve as his advisor.
Which for me, that was sort of like a holy shit moment. Like I never thought that we would get to a position where this would be a thing. And Thorfinn does realize that he needs help here, so he does begrudgingly accept help from Askeladd.
And when the duel resumes, Thorkel tells Thorfinn, "Hey, you can come join my army right now. We can call this duel over. You can say fuck off to Askeladd, and I'll be your mentor."
I would have been like, "Deal, I'm in. Sign
You
me
son of a
up."
you son of a bitch, I'm in. Story time with Askeladd and friends starts now. We learn that Askeladd and Thorkel have actually been in a battle together before at the Battle of Maudon, and that Thorkel was severely wounded in this battle. And in this battle, Askeladd realizes what Thorkel's weakness is. So, being the advisor, he whispers it to Thorfinn, and Thorfinn gets his ass beat up a bunch, and everyone's like, come on, kid, you're running away. Stop. Like, put some fight in." And like, they all don't realize that Thorfinn's playing possum here. Like, he is on purpose getting his ass kicked to bring Thorkel in. And Askeladd shines up his sword using snow, and he's able to reflect the light into Thorkel's eyes, giving Thorfinn the advantage. And Thorfinn knocks Thorkel out with a massive kick to the head.
What great animation for this scene too. Like it is really good. And Thorfinn just comes out of nowhere, leaps up into the air, and then boom, right in the side of the head.
I didn't realize he had a glass jaw like that. You know what I mean? Just bam, one. You know,
One
one
kick.
kick.
Also, Thorfinn had to get up a good. I mean, Thorkel towers everyone. I mean, Thorfinn's not a little kid anymore, but that's still a hell of a vertical jump.
Yep.
He needed a rope.
The only explanation is anime.
Anime logic.
My arm is broken, so all the power from my arm has gone to my legs.
Well, I mean, we've seen Thorfinn do some pretty crazy feats, just not a whole lot. Because for being the main character, he's not doing a whole lot in this show so far. But we've seen him perform some pretty crazy feats. So I mean, I'm buying it. I'm not saying that I don't believe it, but
Thorfinn performing impressive feats with his feet.
yes.
I'll see myself out. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Fates with his fates.
Thorfinn then lunges at Thorkel and just goes berserk and like pokes his one eye out. And Thorkel's men start to attack Thorfinn. And Askeladd's like, Thorfinn, what the fuck are you doing? This was not the plan, dude. Like, calm the hell down. And Thorkel's men start to attack. And Thorkel loses his shit at his men for trying to interfere in his duel. And when he stands up and his eye is bloody, he lost the headband and all of his hair is spiked. He looked like Super Saiyan Broly.
He had some pretty crazy hair. It was definitely Super Saiyan hair.
He pretty much is Super Saiyan Broly in this universe.
I was actually really shocked as well when Thorfinn lunged at Thorkel and went right for his eye when he's on the ground, like he's out. You got him. It's over. Good job. And then he just attacks him. I was like, really?
If he really wanted the kill shot, he could have just slit his throat.
Yeah, but like the duel was over. He had it won. He knocked him out.
Yup.
He just attacked him.
The duel's over when you're dead. I mean, otherwise Thorkel probably would have won, you know, back when he launched him into the trees.
That's fair. They both got concussed in this duel. So Prince Canute walks up to the duel, telling them both, cease your fighting, and any deaths in this battle will be in vain. And then Prince Canute asks Thorkel where his pride and honor are as commander, captain, and Thorkel absolutely loses his shit again. And he starts yelling. He's like, you question my honor. You question my pride. I'm a great leader, blah, blah. Like, and his hair is shaking as he yells. And I'm like, yo, is Thorkel about to go to like Super Saiyan 3?
His hair is furious. He's so mad, his hair is mad.
His hair's about to start growing mustache hair.
His hair grabs the axe and starts killing people.
Thorkel then declares Thorfinn the winner of the duel. And Thorkel calls it the worst day of his life and to bring him a drink. And Thorfinn tries to get Askeladd to leave. He's like, come on, old man. Like, we won. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, before he changes his mind. Like, my ass got beat. Your ass got beat. His ass got beat. Bjorn's ass got beat. Like, everyone is fucked. And Askeladd's like, no. Like, we're staying. You can go if you want. But I need to see how this plays out. And Thorfinn is shocked. Because Askeladd knows when he's beat. Everyone who is on Askeladd's crew knows that. And Thorfinn, for as much as he hates Askeladd, you know Thorfinn knows Askeladd better than anyone else in terms of mental game.
I would say that's pretty true.
Now, this next scene, before we even start talking about, all I can say is wow. Like,
yeah.
It lasted 5 minutes, maybe a little longer, but I was just enthralled with this entire scene. Like, fantastic. Maybe the scene of the entire season so far.
I think that's accurate. Like everything we have done to this point has kind of like led to this. Like I'm sorry, not everything we've done to this point, but ever since we like landed in England, everything that we have seen since we landed in England has led to this point. This is the payoff.
And we're going to try our damnedest to like talk about this scene, but I don't think we can do this scene justice. Like, you all need to really go out and watch this episode and really this scene in its entirety to like really grasp how phenomenal it was. Like, just from not even from like, oh, it's great in the story. Like, everything about it was fantastic. The animation was great. The voice acting was great. The sound was great. Like everything about it was just like money.
I feel like in a lot of shows, especially in like the 90s anime, you'll have the first handful of episodes will be like introduction to characters and little adventures, silliness going on. And there comes a point where everything sort of changes and it focuses into like this is the beginning of the adventure. And that's what this felt like to me. All those episodes, all 18 episodes prior to this, were introduction to character to kind of get us to understand. And it built to this. This is the beginning of this show's point, the reason for this show existing. This is the beginning. This is where things are, from here, things are going to evolve. But like, this is the point that the whole show is built to, is in this episode right here.
I'm going to take a deep breath just to get ready to talk about this scene because there's a lot.
Whew. Wipe the sweat from the brow.
Yep.
Just stretch a little bit, loosen
Yep.
up.
So Prince Canute tells Thorkel he needs a sled, supplies, Askeladd, and Thorfinn. And Thorkel's like, no, like, you're my hostage. Like, fuck you. Like, you're, like, what? Like, you could have your sled and supplies, but you're not getting these two assholes. And, like, he's talking, and we see his men start to come up behind Prince Canute to take him hostage. And Prince Canute very calmly is like, look, call your dogs off. Like, it's over. I'm a worthless bargaining chip for my dad. Like, my dad, King Swain, doesn't want me alive. You can bring him as a hostage, but he's not going to give you anything for me. He wants me dead. He doesn't love me. And whatever, like, you could just stop right now. He's like, you'd be better off just killing me. You would get so much more out of it than taking me as a hostage. So right off the get-go, like, things are getting a little dark.
A little.
Like, Prince Canute's like, look, I'm heading to Gainsborough. I'm going to fight my dad. Going to fight King Swain. And my life has no value. And Thorkel just starts, like, laughing. He's like, yeah. I've heard this all before from so many men. They all say the same thing. They all say, oh, I'm not afraid of dying. Just kill me. It's fine. And Thorkel throws a fake punch that, had it connected, would have probably just knocked Prince Canute's head right off his shoulders.
I believe that. I very
And,
much believe that.
and it was the move a bully does in high school. In middle school, like, I'm going to throw a fake punch at you. You're going to flinch. And we're going to see that, oh, you're not really like. And Prince Canute doesn't flinch. And at this moment, Thorkel looks Prince Canute in his eyes. And we see a cut to Thor's and his eyes. And that was a really cool moment.
It was very cool. They have that same kind of determined look. Is that the right word?
I would
That's what
say
I would
so.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, even Thorkel's like, when he looks in Prince Canute's eyes, everything about Thorkel changes. His whole demeanor changes. It's no longer, oh, I'm going to take you as a hostage. I'm not going to kill you. Like, he's like, oh, I've only seen this look one other time and one other person. I don't know what this look is, but something about it just hits me deep in my core. And Thorkel's like, all right, you know what? Here's my one regret. It's not leaving the Jomsviken when Thor's did, and never learning what it meant to be a true warrior. So Thorkel says to Prince Canute, you can leave. That's A-okay. But I'm coming with you, and I'm fighting for you, so I can also still keep fighting King Swain.
It was at this point where I was like, "Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!"
Yeah. I was very shocked at this whole like it's like, wait, what?
This is now a different show. Whatever I was thinking could happen has gone out the window, and it's doing something totally different. And I'm very excited. This is going to get wild.
Yeah, I was like we saw at the end of the last episode Prince Canute starting to like get people to pledge allegiance to him from both armies, but I never thought Thorkel would be one of those people. I figured Thorkel would die in battle and his dying wish would be for his men to join Prince Canute or something.
But I like it.
I do too. And I mean, we know Thorkel loves to fight. Like he wants a good fight, and I think Thorkel enjoys being the underdog.
100%. When he called out King Swain earlier, he's like, without me, these British would be dead already. But King Swain doesn't like picking fights he can't win. Like he said that. So he's like, so I'm gonna teach him that he can't win. So, like you said, Thorkel just loves being the underdog, and he loves fighting, and he wants a real challenge. And yeah, taking on King Swain is definitely a challenge.
Even Askeladd is surprised at this turn of events and starts laughing hysterically.
Have we ever seen Askeladd like just totally lose it and just start laughing like this?
No, and I feel like the only time we ever see Askeladd actually be happy is when it has something to do with treasure.
Yeah, I feel like we're finally getting a glimpse of the real person Askeladd, not like the fake facade he puts on for his men as he's leading the Danes he can't stand. I feel like this was a legitimate, like, down to his core laugh where he's like, this is finally like what I want. I'm finally in the zone. This is what I want to happen. I'm going to follow Prince Canute, and we're going to make huge changes to the world.
I think he's just kind of unhinged because of all the stuff that's happening. He went from being like a guaranteed dead man to being like the right hand of the king immediately. And like the emotional roller coaster that he must have gone through is it absolutely like unfathomable.
That's true.
Like he even admits to Prince Canute, "Hey, I killed Ragnar. It was me." And he's like, "You can take my life right here and now. I won't blame you for it. But if you can forgive me, I will serve you in any way possible." And Prince Canute's like, "All right, I forgive you. You will now serve in Ragnar's role. That'll be your penance."
Yeah, I feel like he didn't really want to forgive him, but he's like, dang, this is a good idea.
Yeah, they had the look in his eye where he was like incredibly pissed off for like a 2 moments, and then he calmed down and was like, "I do need your help. You will serve me."
I will say these two episodes do a very good job of showing anger at moments with Prince Canute. Like there are times where they zoom in on his face, and you could like his face goes from being very kind and gentle to being very angry and having very sharp facial features.
That's very true.
A completely different guy from what he was an episode and a half ago.
The episode ends with Prince Canute starting to walk away, saying, "All are welcome to join me in this battle to remove my father from his throne." And then we see Askeladd and Thorkel like bickering at each other. It's like, "Oh, I guess we're buddies now. All water under the bridge." And then just like them bickering and like taking shots at each other and like laughing sort of reminded me of brothers. Like, yeah, that sibling rivalry. Like they'll they'll take shots at each other, they'll fight, but at the end of the day, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're cool, we're friends, we're buddies.
Yeah, I can definitely see that with those two.
What a banger of an episode!
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, this last bit here was just insane. The show totally turned on its head. It's going in a different direction that I could never have predicted, and I'm very excited to see this going forward.
And
Crazy
now
to
it becomes Game of Thrones.
it's crazy to see the change in Prince Canute.
All over some snow, man.
Some snow, Ragnar dying,
Force Ghost Ragnar.
Force Ghost Ragnar.
Now, I do want to address though that we really crapped on the last 2 episodes, but I think it's one of those things where like if we were watching, like if we were marathoning episodes, I wouldn't even notice that the last 2 episodes were a little disappointing if I got this one right after it and I was marathoning it. But
Yeah,
because we do like the 2 episode micro analysis, I think the episodes appeared worse than they really were.
I would agree with that. From watching this show up to this point, I really think this show is more of like a binge show. You want to sit down and you want to watch a handful of these at a time, not just two, because we are kind of putting them through a microscope and digging pretty deep two at a time. But if you're watching this like just chilling, watching 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes in a go, I definitely think you're not going to be as nitpicky with them as we are because this is what we're doing.
It does feel like this show has a lot of peaks and valleys. Like there's some really great episodes, and then they're followed up by some weaker episodes.
I would even say that there's moments in each episode where it's like this is really good, and then that same episode's like this is really slow and boring, and then the next episode will be like this is really good, and then this is really slow and boring. So I think if you binge it, you might enjoy it more than I have from two at a time. Though again, I do like this show.
Besides the Anne episode, that episode was still trash.
You could just cut that and it won't matter.
We're all gonna be shit talking that episode, and then like watch it be some like important plot point in like the end of season 1 or beginning of season 2.
I will be shocked and actually mildly upset if that's true.
Why would that upset you?
I mean, like, how can you have an episode that's like so bad and have it be so important down the road? I can't fathom that. That episode was just a waste of time, and they could have done that such a different way and just skipped over that whole thing. Just have a quick scene where like, hey, the Vikings murdered this village and this one girl escaped, and then she shows up in the next episode to tell Thorkel where everybody's at.
It's all about planting the seeds, long-term booking.
Nah, there's no long term booking with that one. I think we already saw the payoff.
30 minutes of nothing. You know what? Like 24 minutes. I'm sorry, 24 minutes of nothing. Like nothing happened in that episode. It was not important. The only thing we needed was she escaped to tell Thorfinn in the next episode, and like that happened in like a flashback. They're like, "Hey, we met this girl, and she told us where everybody is." That's all they had to do.
They showed it like a hungry cold girl eating soup, and we're like, that's the end. That's the conclusion. That's the end of her story.
We didn't need to know that her name was Anne and she had a family and all that shit happened. We didn't need to know that. They could have just skipped right over that.
But who knows? Yeah, like Mike said, what if Anne shows up like 20 episodes from now? They showed us that ring. What if she's wearing that ring?
Oh my! That just the thought of that just makes me angry. I'm like, why did you waste 24 minutes of my time to set something up 3 seasons from now? No, you don't do that.
Unless she plans revenge on all Vikings.
We can tell Turtle hasn't yet to see Game of Thrones.
Yeah. See, I don't know if I would like Game of Thrones if you're telling me this is a common occurrence.
Yeah, it is not the show for you.
I cannot accept Anne. Like that whole episode was just a waste of time. Get to the point. That's maybe it's because I'm older. Shows have become anime shows. Seasons have become shorter. Get to the point. I don't mind like character development, but I don't want a bunch of story fluff where nothing happens.
And now it is time for Mike's Beer of the Week. This week's beer is another New Belgium beer, and it's another Voodoo Ranger. This time it's the 1985, a 6.7% hazy IPA. I know. Back-to-back weeks of picking Voodoo Ranger beers. Look at Mike being so original. But I gotta say, I'm on a Voodoo Ranger kick right now. And Voodoo Ranger beers from New Belgium don't miss. And this hazy IPA is loaded with mango flavor. Honestly, I'm not usually a big mango fan, but this beer was really vibing with me when I had it. Like, it went down real smooth. The profile was fantastic. Like, everything about it was great. And yes, it had the mango. Like, I didn't even realize it was mango at the time. It just, all the juiciness, all the fruity flavor. Like, I could have sworn there were more fruits in there beyond just mango. But yeah, it was really vibing with me. And maybe it was just because it was a hot summer evening. Maybe it was because the NFL was back and I was watching the Chiefs and Lions game. But damn, this beer was fantastic. Would highly recommend it if you're a hazy IPA fan, or if you're a big New Belgium fan. The untapped average rating is 3.87, and I give it a 4.25. Episode 20, Crown. The year is 1014. We are in Gainsborough, England. We see Floki getting word that Thorkel is coming, and Floki finds it hard to believe that Thorkel is under the command of Prince Canute. And he's just getting his men ready, and then all of a sudden he looks up and he is shocked that Prince Canute, Askeladd, Thorkel, and Thorfinn are all just standing there. And then Thorkel's like, "Oh, hey, it's Floki. Want to fight?"
Of course he does.
And Prince Canute's like, "Thorkel, cool it. Like we talked about this, buddy. We don't have to fight everyone.
But it's just a little fight.
No. We only fight when I say to fight."
Can't I have like 5 minutes?
Speaking of fight, though, every time I see Floki, I keep thinking, when is Askeladd gonna rat this guy out to Thorfinn? You guys ever think that?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, do we? I was wondering. I'm like, does Thorkel know that Floki hired Askeladd to kill Thors?
Nobody knows except Askeladd.
Yeah, I never expected to be in this scenario. So now I'm really curious, like, is Askeladd gonna tell Thorfinn the truth? Because that changes the game quite a bit.
I think it'll come up when Thorfinn's gonna have to try to kill. I think when all the stuff goes down with King Swain or whatever, there's a possibility they're gonna have to try and kill Floki. I feel like that's what Askeladd's gonna tell Thorfinn to motivate him. That's my prediction.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna keep that in the back pocket for when he needs it.
Prince Canute is pissed that Floki and his men look like they are ready to fight, and he wonders if this is how they welcome royalty. And Floki's like, "Oh no, sir. Sorry, sir. We got bad intel, sir. We thought it was someone else coming. You're more than welcome, and we'll give you an escort to your father's castle and everything, sir." So as Prince Canute, Thorkel, Askeladd, and Thorfinn are walking, Prince Canute tells them, "Look, now is not the time to strike. We don't know who is loyal to my father, who's loyal to my brother, who's loyal to me. We are here to make allies, and we are here to bring people to my side." And Prince Canute already has a plan worked out in his mind. First, he tells Thorkel, "All right, Thorkel, yes, you fought for England, but the men here are still loyal to you. You are going to use your popularity to go talk to the leaders and gain us some allies." And Thorkel's like, "Well, are you paying for the booze? Are you providing the booze?" And Prince Canute's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, best day ever. I wish I would have joined you earlier to fight."
Thorkel, go booze it up with the boys and make amends. Okay.
Prince Canute's like, "Here's my credit card. Here's pay. Use this to pay for the tab on the booze."
Just put it on my tab. They know I'm good for it.
He then tells Askeladd that Askeladd will accompany Prince Canute to the meeting with King Swain, and he wants Askeladd's opinions on King Swain and the meeting. He then also asks Askeladd, "How do we get the future we want?" And Askeladd says, "We need to assassinate the king, and we need to do it soon. And we also need to figure out who the scapegoat is, because it can't be the two of us."
It was at this point I stood up and I went, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
It was at this point I'm like, "Oh, fuck. Thorfinn's going to be the scapegoat, isn't he?"
Oh no, I didn't think about that.
I also kind of thought that Thorfinn sneak into the king's room at night and kill him, because that's the kind of crap that Askeladd has him do all the time, right? sitting at the king's room and kill him. And then, of course, Thorfinn gets like shot 6 times with arrows as he tries to escape, falls into a river, and he washes up on the shore somewhere, right? Like, I feel like that's what would happen. But right now, they're not going that route. We'll see.
Thorfinn killed the king, and I promise you another duel where I'll beat your ass.
Yeah.
I just had this vision of like Thorfinn killing the king, and like as soon as he does it, like the curtain is thrown open and Askeladd's there, and he's like, "He did it. It was Thorfinn."
It was him.
Askeladd's there the whole time. He's just like, "Oh, he did it. Go get that guy. He's the bad guy."
Prince Canute then tells Thorfinn that he will start getting non-bodyguard duties. And Thorfinn's like, shut up. I don't take orders from you. Fuck off. And Askeladd's like, oh, I'm sorry, my lord. He does not mean that. I will talk to this idiot. And then Prince Canute and Askeladd are walking, and Prince Canute starts talking about his future kingdom. He calls it a paradise, and he's like, everyone will be welcome, and everything will be great, and we won't need churches to pray to gods and heaven and hell and everything. Like, we will have everything we need right here. And he's talking about this paradise of his. And we see some art and we see some visuals of what Prince Canute is visualizing. And the visuals reminded me of Vinland in terms of the colors palette that they use. And that seems to be like a running theme. Like, when people talk of Vinland or Valhalla or their paradise or whatever, it's always the same color palette. It's always like it always looks the same.
The flower filled meadow,
Yep.
a nice
Yeah.
spring day, sun's out, like the whatever your perfect temperature is. It's just like the best thing ever.
Well, so they all live in northern Europe with the harsh winters. So, like, pretty much just anywhere that doesn't have the world's harshest winter is good enough for them.
He then says when he completes his vision, and it may not be in his lifetime, but he'll at least start the vision, and someone can carry it out for him if he dies prior, is that when the vision is complete, it will tell God that they no longer need him. They no longer need his heaven. They no longer need his trials and tribulations because they will have everything they need here on earth. And Prince Canute is willing to become a demon if that's what's necessary.
I gotta say, I really like the determination that Prince Canute has to like actually make a great kingdom. How did we get here with him holding some snow in his hand and talking about snow is love?
It's all the Force Ghost, man. It's all the Force Ghost.
I really I'm not connecting his dots on how he made it here. I like that he made it here. I'm like, this is he's got it's a great ambition. He wants to make a kingdom. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's happy. Everyone's peaceful. It's a great place to be. I'm on board. I just don't know how we reached this conclusion. We started with snow, and then Force Ghost Ragnar, and now we're here.
I don't either, but I'm digging like the new Prince Canute.
I am too. I don't know how we got here, but I like it.
I will say I noticed some heel tendencies when Prince Canute was talking. Like, they did some close-ups of his face, and like it started having sharper facial features. It started having like an evil grin and like an evil, like a determined look in his eyes, but you know that behind that determination he would do anything needed, including like killing whoever might stand in his way. And just the way he was talking, it's like you went from this mild-mannered, very meek prince to this very outspoken, very confident, very like, I will do whatever is necessary. It's like, is this just like planting the seed of like Prince Canute's gonna become an asshole at some point?
I kind of feel the same way. The way he's kind of like given up on like all the tenets of Christianity. He seemed like to be like a very forgiving person, and he seemed to be very like reserved and meek, and seems to have given all that up. And I have a feeling he's just become extremely brutal. Like, no matter how brutal King Swain seems to be, I think Canute's going to be like 10 times more brutal. He's like, in order to create my perfect world, we're gonna have to like kill like 1,000 people here, 1,000 people there, maybe get some slaves, maybe you know what I mean. So like to create his perfect world, he's probably just gonna do the same crap his dad did.
And maybe to a worse extent. I definitely also saw like the darkness behind his eyes, and the evil that he's willing to accept to reach his goal. So there's always that line, like, where's your line that you won't cross? And I feel like right now Prince Canute does not have a line, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. So this could get really messy as well.
I have a feeling Thorfinn versus Canute is going to be a storyline in the future.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting because up to this point, we don't think Prince Canute has any sort of combat training, or if he does, we have never seen it in use.
Well, I mean, if he's taken command, he'll have all of the soldiers he could ever wish for, like hunting Thorfinn, if that's the route they go.
That's more what I'm thinking.
So, like, Thorfinn will always be on the run, and he can't get anywhere near Prince Canute because he would have a whole army always protecting him.
I mean, it could happen if they scapegoat Thorfinn for killing King Sweyn.
Yeah.
I mean, you could turn on him in the next 4 episodes for all we know.
And Askeladd's a dick, he would do it.
Well, yeah, it gets that bloodthirsty kid away from him too.
It does.
The one whose only goal in life is to kill him.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
It just depends on if Canute actually likes Thorfinn or not, and is willing to kind of like betray that.
I mean, up to this point, it seems like he has a liking of Thorfinn.
But Thorfinn has a shitty attitude, so he could ruin it for himself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Talk about another scene that I was absolutely enthralled with King Sweyn, Prince Canute, Askeladd, and Thorfinn.
Yeah, this was a really great scene.
Like, they walk into the throne room, and King Sweyn is happy to see Prince Canute. Like, I'm happy to see a bill come in the mail. Or people are happy that student loan payments are restarting.
Oh, good gracious. Let's not talk about those.
Ugh.
And Thorfinn can sense somehow that 20 men are in the room and hiding, waiting to ambush them. Which, that's a whole nother can of worms to open. It's like, how the hell can Thorfinn just tell? He's just like, oh, yes, there's about 20 men. They're all hiding. They have air archers. Like, what? How did that happen?
I was going to say, I wanted to ask you guys, have we seen this kind of behavior from Thorfinn before? Because, like, Askeladd set him up. He was like, wait, Thorfinn, what's going on? And, like, he just knows, oh, there's like 20 people in here in hiding. When the fuck has he done that before? That's a cool power.
I'm sure Askeladd trained Thorfinn to do this kind of thing.
Well, Thorfinn wasn't their scout for a long time, so he's very observant. So that's what I'm thinking, is that he's able to kind of like sense movement and things like that.
I wish they would have explained it. Like, is it an eyesight thing? Is it just like a sixth sense that he has that he knows because he was a scout? Like, they didn't explain why he can do this.
I think Thorfinn just might have enhanced senses.
I mean, he's younger, so like maybe he's got better eyes, so he can see like shadows in the dark up in the rafters or something. I would buy that, but like they don't explain it.
And even Askeladd says, he's like, oh, it's too dark in here. My eyes can't see King Sweyn. I need to get closer to get a good look at his face.
So is that what they were implying for Thorfinn?
I think so.
I wish they would have said it. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, where did he get this superpower?
You sort of had to connect some strings, and you don't learn about Askeladd's eyesight until like they start approaching the king.
It's like, Thorfinn, get your thermal goggles and see how many warm bodies are in this room. It's like, that's a really cool ability.
Thorfinn, take a lap, see how many men are ready to stab you.
Just run in there and see what happens and let us know.
Just go in, start yelling, I'm here to fight! See what's the worst that could happen.
Right.
King Sweyn asks where Ragnar is, and when Prince Canute tells him that he died, King Sweyn doesn't seem too upset about it. He's like, oh, that's a shame. Anyways, moving on.
It wouldn't surprise me if part of the reason that he felt Canute was kind of soft is because Ragnar babied him. Would not surprise me at all.
I could totally see that, and I could totally see the king wanting to kill Ragnar himself
Well, yeah, also true.
for failing to raise his son as a ruthless royal prince.
At the same time, if he was expecting Canute to die on the front lines of the war, then he was obviously expecting Ragnar to die as well. So he's like, "Oh, okay, good. Like I was expecting this anyway."
And there's a good chance, like, if he was going to have Prince Canute assassinated, he was probably going to kill Ragnar too.
Absolutely.
King Sweyn has Prince Canute rise and take 10 steps forward, and he tells Canute that he looks just like he did when King Sweyn was his age. And King Sweyn then has a little story time saying, "When I was your age, I drove away my father and took the crown from him because he was a shitty king. And he's like, I knew I could be a better king than my father. And when I took this crown, I learned that the crown changes a person. You need to, there's so much power, there's so much wealth. You get wealth from wherever, and all these treasures are yours. And like, it just changes the person. And you have to make these decisions much bigger than you thought." And then Prince Canute, being a smart ass here, asked King Sweyn, "Okay, well, is the crown what's telling you to kill me? To kill your own son?" And King Sweyn's like, "Yeah, you are not the next wearer of this crown." And when he says that, the 20 men come out prepared to attack. Bows are drawn, spears are pointing towards the three, like they are ready to go. But before the attack starts, King Sweyn offers Prince Canute a piece of Cornwall to live out the rest of his days. But if Prince Canute refuses, he will die here and now. And Prince Canute, being a smartass still, asked King Sweyn if the crown made him say that.
He is just he's in full asshole mode right now.
Absolutely.
He's picking some things up from Askeladd and Thorfinn on how to get under people's skin.
This is probably not the best time to, like, piss off your dad when he has 20 dudes ready to kill you right now.
Even Askeladd's like, "Oh fuck, we're fucked. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck." He's like,
Askeladd's like, "You gotta pull it back a little, buddy."
like, wrong person to piss off. Too many men. We're fucked. Like, Askeladd's like, "Think, idiot. Think, think, think. Like, how the hell do we get out of this jam?" And
Yeah.
then Askeladd asks King Sweyn if he can speak, and King Sweyn allows it. And he introduces himself. He's like, "I am Askeladd, King, son of Olaf." And he says, "Oh, actually, the best course of action would be to allow the the best course of action, as Prince Canute was able to take Thorkel and his men under his command, would actually be to install Prince Canute as King of England. And just think of all that wealth that Denmark would get from England. And Prince Canute would be out of your hair. He would be king somewhere else. You get all this money. It's a win-win for everyone." And King Sweyn takes it under some thought. And he's like, "Yeah, that does seem like a good idea." And he's like, "What was your name again?" "Oh, Askeladd. One covered in ash." King Sweyn assumes it's an alias. And he asks for Askeladd's birth name. And Askeladd says, "I don't have a name. That's just what I go by." And King Sweyn calls his mother a slave. And Askeladd internally is losing his shit. Where even Thorfinn's like, "What the fuck is wrong with him? Like, why is he so pissed off right now?"
I loved the animation for this scene. Like, Askeladd is he's down on the knee, he's looking at the ground, don't look at the king directly. And just when he says that, your mother must have been a slave, you see like his hand, like twitch and stretch out on the floor. And they zoom into his face where he's just like, he's ready to rip somebody's head off with his bare hands. And they have this aura around him that, like, Thorfinn picks up on, like, whoa, I can literally see his bloodlust visually off of his body. Like, it was a really well done scene.
That aura that they put in looked so cool.
Oh, it did. I don't even know how to describe it, like what it looked like, but I was just like, whoa, look at the animation for that. It's really cool.
Like they distorted the color and like made the area around him look like it was shaking and everything.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Really well done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I understand that maybe you guys, maybe one of your favorite scenes in the show was the end of last episode, but everything in the throne room here has probably been my favorite part of the entire series so far.
That's fair.
Just like it checks my boxes.
It's a great scene. It's really good.
King Swain then says, I'm heading to York. Prince Canute, you'll get your reward there. So King Swain walks off in his own way. Prince Canute, Thorfinn, and Asgard, they walk off in their own way. And each of them learn something. Prince Canute says, like, Asgard's like, oh, that could have went better. And Prince Canute's like, nope, that went perfect. We now know that my father is a slave to the crown, and he will do whatever it takes in order to keep, like, for the crown. He doesn't make smart decisions. He makes decisions that he thinks is fit for a king. And King Swain, on the other hand, is like Askeladd, one covered in ash. He's just like working it out. He's like, I have to be wary about that one.
I mean, I don't blame him. After everything we've seen Askeladd do so far and how he's able to plan things out, I would be wary of him too.
We're then at the bar, like tavern, whatever it might be, where Thorkel is talking to the leaders. And Thorkel makes a toast to Prince Canute. And everyone's like, here, here, yay! Free booze, we love you! And we see two men in a drinking contest. And the one man wins. And everyone's like, oh man, he's crushing it. Like, and they're like, who are you, man? And we learn that the man is Willibald, the drunk priest.
Of course he's winning a drinking contest. It's what he
And
does.
no one recognizes him because he shaved his beard. And he's like, you guys really forgot me?
I love how they animate the beard like appearing and disappearing from his face. You're like, oh yeah, it is that guy.
That was fantastic. Willibald gets his facial hair from drinking a keg of beer.
The mini keg.
Each keg is one hair.
I love that they say he's 58 glasses in and he's totally unfazed. Like
Yep.
he's completely sober.
And the fact that he's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
They can't believe how young he is.
I never expected the 23 years of age.
I really wish we got to see the drinking contest between Thorkel and Willibald.
Yeah, they do cut away from that, don't they?
Because that could have been really fun to see.
Next episode.
I hope.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
We then see Prince Canute and Thorkel Prince Canute and Askeladd, they're sitting side by side. And Prince Canute calls Thorkel a strange man, that he's just living his life, doing whatever he pleases, and people aren't mad about it. Instead, they actually follow him for it. He then asks Askeladd if they can kill King Swain. And Askeladd tells him straight up, it's not going to be easy, and it's going to require a shitload of planning. This guy is, like, he's been king for so long. He knows how to plan things. He knows what to look for. He knows the ins and out. He's going to be a strategic genius. The fact that he had an ambush plan for us today means he's already onto our game.
He's final boss material.
And they're sticking around for a few days after all, right?
Yep, as far as we know.
The excitement will continue.
We then meet Ragnar's brother, Gunnar, and he is completely different than Ragnar. Very high energy levels, weird mustache. Ragnar is very calm, and Gunnar is not.
He does still have the cone head, though. That's how you know they're related.
Family trait.
Prince Canute then tells Gunnar that, hey, your brother is dead, and I'm no longer planning on implementing the plan we were talking about and going into exile. And Gunnar can't believe that his brother's dead. He's like, my brother's dead? He's in shock of it.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for Gunnar at this point because like he just found out that like Ragnar's dead, and Prince Canute just glosses over it. He's like, "I need you to keep your eye on the king and do this and do that," and he's just totally stunned. Like, "Hey, my brother's dead," and Prince Canute has like no no BS, no. He doesn't even like, "Oh, I hate to tell you this. I'm really sorry." You know, none of that. He's moved on. He's like, "Hey, Ragnar's dead. I need you to watch the king. I'm not running away anymore." It was pretty brutal actually, which is it's so different from the Prince Canute we know from when we first met him.
Gunnar will be fine whenever his Force Ghost comes to visit.
He'll get a visit from Force Ghost Ragnar too.
Askeladd's outside taking a leak, and he believes Gunnar is no good and he's not loyal to Prince Canute. And it's like, all right, is Askeladd gonna kill the other brother now?
I mean, I agree with him. I think he's a little squirrely, I would say, and he could easily, you know, jump to the side of the king if it benefits him better.
We then see Atli and Torgrim come up to Askeladd, and Atli is pretty much on the verge of tears, and he says, "Look, we need to go. Like, I can't look at you the same way after we betrayed you." Torgrim is mentally broken as he's throwing snowballs at Atli. Askeladd's a little disappointed that they're leaving. He's like, "Oh, I wish you guys would stay. Like, I don't think Bjorn has much time left. The infection that he got from the wounds from battle are working its way towards his intestines. And the only person left from the old crew is now Thorfinn." And Askeladd's getting a little torn up at this. Like, oh man, my whole entire crew. Like, it's the end of a chapter for Askeladd and the beginning of a new chapter for him. And Askeladd gives Atli a gold bracelet. And Atli's like, "No, I can't take that from you." Like, and he's like, "No, you can never have enough gold. And I'm about to become hand of the king. I'll have plenty of riches." And Atli goes to grab it. And he's like, and Askeladd just keeps pulling away. He's like, "Are you giving it to me or not?" And Askeladd's like, "Look, I'll give this to you, but under one condition. You must never wield a sword again. Go start a family. Go raise some sheep. Die an old death in your own bed. And if I ever see you on the battlefield, whether you're fighting with me or against me, I will kill you myself."
Wow. I don't even know what to say after that other than just wow. What a scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Askeladd always gives me mixed feelings on how I feel about him because we have to remember that he did just go around like the English countryside, just pillaging villages and laughing the whole time as he murdered people and stole their stuff. But there are like glimpses of compassion at times, and it seems like he really cared about his mom and really doesn't want the Vikings to invade Wales.
Askeladd feels like very much I will do whatever is necessary to make sure my plan succeeds. I don't care who it hurts, how many it hurts. I will honor my mother's memory. And if that makes me an asshole, so be it.
He's almost like a wild card because you never know what he's gonna do. I mean, I feel like his goal was to promote Prince Canute, and now that he's got a fire lit under him, Askeladd's getting what he wants. But I also feel like if something else comes along that's a better deal, he could totally like betray and kill Prince Canute if that's what he wants to do. So you never know what Askeladd's gonna do.
The episode then ends with an old looking Leif at a slave market looking to see if Thorfinn is there.
Again, that's twice they've shown Leaf, and I was like, "Oh, that's Leaf," because like we haven't seen him in so long.
You know what that means? You know, oh man, what if Leaf just happens to be the same place? Thorfinn gets blamed for killing King Sweyn. He has to run off, meets up with Leaf, and they take off. We're gonna meet his family again sometime. There's no way we can ignore them forever.
I feel like this is an easy question, but what did you two think of this episode or these episodes?
You want to go first, Sean?
Yeah, the best two in the series so far. This has re-energized me. I will have absolutely no problems getting to the end of this series, like of this season of the show. It is a lock. Like I like it when I finish these 2 episodes. I like after we've reviewed the last 2 episodes, I immediately watched these 2 episodes, and I wanted to keep watching so badly.
The binge was on.
But I held strong. I held strong.
It's not easy to do. It's not easy because like
Yeah.
I'm a fan of binging, so like I like to sit down and like watch several episodes of a show before bed, and like I have to stop at 2. I can't go any farther.
It's tough sometimes.
I would also agree that these are the best 2 episodes so far. Um, I think I liked episode 19 a little bit more than episode 20. Probably because there's just more Thorkel in it, and you know we get the lore dump from Thorkel about Thor's, which was huge for me. But like episode 20 has the setup for the future where Prince Canute is determined to take over and build his country, and that also has me really excited. So these are the best 2 by far. Can't wait to go. Check out the next 2.
I absolutely love these 2 episodes. Yeah, best episodes so far of the show probably. Even though those early episodes were Thor's they were really good too.
They were really good.
Yeah,
I think we forget how good those episodes were at times just because it's been so long since we watched those episodes. But otherwise, these episodes were, as I said to start this episode, bangers. And I am very much looking forward to what happens in the last 4 episodes of the season. But I will be very sad if Bjorn dies off screen.
I was gonna say, can we talk about Bjorn for a minute? They're killing him. What the hell?
Just feed him some berserker mushrooms. He'll be fine.
I'm telling you, I did not expect him to go out like this. I'm a little upset.
Potentially getting him off screen is the weird part to me.
I mean, he might make a recovery.
He could. He's not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet. I'm getting better. I feel like I could sing.
No singing.
And now it is time for the waifu of the week. Turtle, who is your waifu of the week and why?
I feel like I should pick Thorkel because I'm on such a streak. But I think this time I'm going to have to go with Prince Canute. As much as I love Thorkel, and there's some great Thorkel bits in both of these episodes, we're really getting to see Prince Canute come into his own, and he has a plan to build his own country where, everyone is welcome, everyone's an equal, and, that's a great thing. So I'm excited to see where Prince Canute goes from here. So I pick Prince Canute this week.
Sean, who do you pick and why?
They're actually pretty like a few good candidates here for sure. But I am going to go with Canute as well. I feel like the guy's really coming into his own. I feel like we're just seeing the beginning of his story. So I'm looking forward to where Canute is going to take us. So yeah, for the excitement of the new Canute, I will pick Prince Canute. How about you, Mike?
I am going back to the Askeladd well. I feel like I'm the Askeladd stan on this podcast.
You might be, while Turtle's the Thorkel stan.
I'm definitely the biggest Thorkel fan that we have here, I guess. But I mean, Askeladd's a good choice because these are some good episodes for him. I'll give him that. I don't like him, but these are good episodes for him.
Askeladd was my very close second pick.
He plays the father figure to Thorfinn for once. Like, he actually shows that he cares for Thorfinn. He's like, let me be your advisor. Let me take care of your arm.
Well, hold up, though. I mean, if Thorfinn doesn't win the duel, he just dies, right?
That's true,
I mean,
but...
he had some investment.
That's not caring.
True, but
That's not caring at all.
He wasn't a dick about it like he usually is.
That's a good point. Yes, he actually seemed like he was. His advice was genuine. There was no weird ulterior motive. It was like, we are going to beat him, and I am going to show you how.
Yes.
I'm going to make you a better fighter now.
And you can tell, like, Prince Canute truly values his opinions on things. And like I said at the end of episode 20, recapping that last scene, like, it feels like this is the end of the pirate lifestyle chapter for Askeladd and the beginning of royalty chapter. Like, I don't know how many more fights we'll see Askeladd have. Like, I feel like this could be the turning of a page. Like, this might be his way of honoring his mother, making sure Prince Canute becomes king, and I think he truly sees something in Prince Canute. Thank you all for joining us this week as we watch Vinland Saga. We hope you join us next week for episode 26 of the Anime Banter podcast, where we will watch episodes 21 and 22 of Vinland Saga. Please give us a 5-star review on all platforms that allow reviews. If you are listening on YouTube, please like the video, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and leave a comment. Turtle, do you have anything you would like to plug?
If you're a fan of video games, RPGs specifically, check out my YouTube channel, RPG Treasure Trove.
Sean, do you have anything you would like to plug?
As usual, please check out the Demon Files podcast. We are about to come back, so please get caught up before season 2 airs.
The Anime Banter podcast can be found on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you all for joining, and we will talk to you next week.